So we're into part two for 5 foods that reverse muscle loss after 50. You probably didn't know, but your muscle mass declines 8% or 10% per decade after the age of 30. By the time you're 60, you could have lost literally a quarter of your muscle mass, okay? This means you're creating a lot of dependency on other people, decreasing your personal independence. You may lose a bit of confidence. You're not sure, how you're going to be able to get out and do the grocery shopping or do a walk with the family. And your overall energies decline, impacting your ability to enjoy life and participate in activities. So hopefully I've got your attention. I'm going to share with you 5 foods that's going to help you reverse muscle loss and make all these things a lot better. So the 5 foods are going to be enhanced on my last video where I really skirted over what they were. But in this one, I'm going to kind of give you recommended daily allowances and quantities to maximize your muscle preservation, because it's all good saying you need, eat more lean protein, let's say, but how much of that? So that's what this video is going to be about. So who am I? Well, I'm Gavin. I'm a personal trainer. I co-own New Zealand's only fitness studio for people over the age of 50. And we're the only one in New Zealand that does this, which is pretty cool. And there's 3 parts to our success. And that's going to be nutrition, fitness programs, and accountability to keep you on track. And they're the 3 things. And once you got those 3 things, you're going to be well on track for success. So we're going to cover 5 foods, okay? 5 simple foods. They're very common. You can buy them anywhere, essentially. And just by having these in your diet on a regular basis is going to go a long way to preserving your muscle mass. So lean proteins are a big one. And the reason that lean proteins work so well is that they're high in an amino acid called leucine. So all proteins have amino acids, but leucine is the one that actually triggers muscle growth. So if you're not eating proteins with this amino acid, then obviously you're not maximizing the amount of muscle growth that you're going to get. There's also been studies done. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlights the importance of protein and resistance training for muscle mass. So it's not just about eating. You've got to be using weights as well, or resistance bands or whatnot to help enhance that, okay? And how much do you need? Well, there's a really cool formula I like, and it works really well across the board. And it's 1 gram per centimeter of height. So I'm about 174. So if you have, I need about 174 grams of protein per day. All right. So that's how it looks. Well, you might be thinking, like, how do I get that? Like, what does that even look like? Well, let's just say chicken breast. So per 100 grams, you get about 2.5 grams of leucine, and you get about 24 grams of protein, which is quite a lot. Okay. So, for me, that'd be a big chunk of my protein allowance for the day. Turkey breast has higher protein source than chicken, and you get about 26, 27, I believe, off the top of my memory. And you get 2.5 grams of leucine per 100 grams. Lean beef or sirloin, about 2.6 to 3.4 leucines per 100 grams. But it depends on the cut as well. Tuna is about 2 grams per 100 grams of serve, and low-fat cottage cheese, 1.4 to 2 grams of leucine per 100 grams. If you start eating these lean proteins within your diet as part of a regular diet, you're going to be going a long way to reversing that muscle loss and preserving the muscle that you have. So the next one's omega-3 fatty acids. So important to get into your diets. And why it works is because it reduces inflammation and boosts muscle protein synthesis. And all muscle protein synthesis means is muscle building. Posh word for muscle building. The other thing that's interesting is that in the Western diet, we have a big ratio discrepancy between omega-6 fatty acids and omega-3 fatty acids. And omega-6 fatty acids are actually inflammatory by nature, which means they cause lots of inflammation. But if you increase your omega-3 fatty acids to more like 2 to 1, other than the current 20 to 1, then you're going to bring down a lot of inflammation in your body, okay? And obviously, the less inflammation, the more opportunity your muscles have to grow. So the Journal of Physiology found that omega-3s improve muscle building in older adults, which is so important. Like I said, you're losing about 1% of your muscle mass per decade. And if we can, reverse that, make it 0.5% or whatever that is, it's going to be a lot better for you. You don't want to be losing a quarter of your muscle mass as you get older. It's crazy, right? And you want to be eating fatty fish 2 to 3 times per week, or sprinkle flax seeds on it. It's going to be good. Or the best thing I have found in my fitness studio anyway is to supplement with fish oil tablets because it's just easier. You can do it as part of your morning routine and you don't have to eat fatty fish if you don't like it. Okay. Now, what sources are there, which is important? So salmon, which is wild caught, ideally a rich source of that, and you're getting about move this search bar out the way a little bit in the way. So we're looking at about 2.2 grams of omega-3s per 100 gram servings. Mackerels is a big one as well, about 2.6 grams of omega-3s per 100 grams of mackerel. Black seeds, they're about 18 grams of omega-3s per 100 grams. That's super, super high. And chia seeds are great as well. And they're about 17 grams per 100 grams as well. So there's some quality food for you to start implementing into your diet. Vitamin D is the next one, number 3, okay? And you can get these in fortified milk, egg yolks. It supports muscle strength and reduces fall risk. So another thing that happens is that your muscle strength declines probably faster than your muscle size, which means that you have no power to get up. So if I were to get up off a chair, I might have to use my hands to get up because I haven't got the leg power to get up off the chair. But with vitamin D, it supports the strength in the muscles that you have and reduces your fall risk. So a lot of people over the age of 50, 60, and 70 are at a massive risk of falling over. And sometimes a simple trip can cause a massive fall because you haven't got the leg strength to catch yourself afterwards. So that is why this is so important. Now, it's science backed as well. Nutrient Journals links vitamin D to stronger muscles and better balance. So it's super important. If you're not getting vitamin D in your diet, then you've got to start. And one of the things that's interesting about vitamin D, it comes from the sun as well. So if you get out in the sun, make sure you've got sun cream so you don't get burnt. But sun exposure can actually help with that as well. Or you can supplement with vitamin D rich supplements and foods. So what does that look like? Well, what it is hard to measure in international units or micrograms. Because it's just hard to make. Like, how many grams of vitamin D do you get from the sun? It's quite hard to know, right? But fortified milk, a standard cup, about 240 mils, typically has about 100 to 120 international units of vitamin D. However, it can vary depending on the brand. So look at the food labels on the back, should tell you. Egg yolks are great. So one large egg yolk with 17 grams contains roughly 40 international units. Again, can slightly differ depending on how the chickens are raised. Fortified cereals, another thing as well, about 80 IUs for 30-gram servings. But again, look at the nutritional information. That should kind of give you a bit more of an idea. But these are fantastic foods to implement in your diet as well as getting out in the sun, getting a bit of fresh air at the same time. Creatine-rich foods, super important. So why it works. So creatine itself, okay, fuels muscle contractions and enhances strength. So what it is, creatine, and it's something in the muscles called ATP, okay? And ATP is the energy source of the muscles. It helps it fire, bang, bang, bang. So like, tensing your arms. Every time I'm doing that, I'm using creatine to do that. And what it means is that if you could say going for a big walk and it was like steps, if you weren't eating creatine, you may not be able to get the full flight of steps that are walking. But when you got creatine in your muscles and it's saturated in your muscles, you may be able to get to the top without stopping. So it allows more energy production in the muscles for you to do a little bit more. In the weight training world, if you're squatting, let's say you're doing 10 reps of squats, you may be able to get 11 reps instead of 10. And that little bit of extra volume gives you a bit more energy to do more load, more volume, ultimately get stronger. So this is super important to have in your diet. Another thing about creatine as well is that studies have been done recently to say that it actually enhances cognitive function. So it not prevents, I'm never going to say that, but it could hedge your bets against getting things like dementia and things like that as well. So creatine is a very, very good supplement to have. And again, the Journal of Strength and Conditioning confirms the role in muscle building when paired with resistance training. So you get in the theme as well. You can have these foods to help maintain your muscle, but you've got to be training your muscles as well to get the biggest benefit, okay? So again, red meat, enjoying in moderation, but the best thing to do is get a creatine supplement, because if you eat lots of red meat, that could be related to higher chances of like cardiovascular disease and high cholesterol, high blood pressure, that sort of thing. But creatine itself is easy to supplement. It's quite cheap as well. And it's going to give you all the benefits without the downside of lots of red meat. So where do you get it from? Essentially, well, red meat is what I just said. You're looking at 4 to 5 grams of creatine per 2.2 pounds of uncooked beef. So it means a standard 100-gram serving would contain about half a gram of creatine. Fish, herring as well. So you're looking at about 100 gram contains about zero point 0.3 to 0.5 grams of creatine. And creatine monohydrate supplement, like I said, you literally get 5 grams. And the highest concentration will be found, which is going to be better for you as well without the downsides of the beef, essentially. So the next thing we're going to go on to is antioxidant-rich foods, berries, leafy greens, that sort of thing. And why it works is that it fights oxidative stress, protecting the muscles from damage, which is so important. They obviously, don't want to be damaging your muscles and making them smaller. This is going to help fight that off. And the journals of gerontology link antioxidants to better muscle function and longevity, which is super key. All right, and way to do it is literally fill your plate with colorful fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. And if you do that, you're going to be absolutely fine. Or you can supplement as well. But things like blueberries are packed with antioxidants. You can't measure the grams of antioxidants, but like a cup of blueberries, let's say, have very high antioxidant capacity. They're a good source of vitamin C and other beneficial compounds. Dark chocolate, if you like me, you like a bit of chocolate, then again, very rich in that as well. And spinach, vitamins A, C, and E, as well as the antioxidants, lutein, and the other one I can't even sort of pronounce it. But 100 grams serving of spinach provides a substantial amount of these antioxidants. So again, having these foods in your diet is going to go a long way to preserving and reversing your muscle loss. So although, like I just said, it's important to eat these foods, but you shouldn't neglect resistance training, because resistance training creates muscle tears in the muscles, which when they repair, they're obviously going to get a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger. And foods provide the building blocks, but training is the signal for growth as well. So you have to be kind of resistance training. Again, with neuromuscular adaptation, resistance training improves communication between your nervous system and your muscles, increasing strength, power, balance, all those things, and it can't be done by diet alone, which is really important. Again, looking at bone density becomes a big problem for our sort of clients over the age of 50 and 60 and above. Again, resistance training is going to put a load on those bones, and it's going to make a big difference for you to be a bit more robust as you get older. You don't want to be falling over and breaking a hip because you've got low bone density. Okay. And functional strength, again, it's about the adaptability to real world stress. As if you have to go outside and lift a bunch of stuff in the garden, it's going to weight training, resistance training is going to help you be able to do those things without hurting yourself. I'm telling you, on a side quest here, so many of our members come see our physios at our fitness facility because they've hurt themselves in the garden from poor lifting technique or not being quite strong enough. They're really important that resistance training will train those functional movement patterns for you to do more in real life as well. That's what it's about. So I have got a really cool giveaway. If you've got the nutrition side of things here now already in this video, but if you want a free full body workout, just comment resistance program in the comments. And I will send you across one of our programs that we use for our clients in our fitness facility. And it's going to basically work all the muscles of the body, head to toe. You're going to do this about 2 to 3 times a week. It's going to be fantastic for you. It's all designed with people over the age of 50 in mind as well. But I will say, if you've got any really serious injuries and things like that, it may not be suitable. But if you're feeling pretty good and you can adapt some of these exercises, it's going to be amazing for you. All right. And just comment down below. And that is kind of the end of the video. So if you found this video useful, let me know in the comments. Is there anything I missed out? Is there anything that you need actual help with? I'm going to link a video up in the corner there as well about bone health as well, how to increase your bone density, because these are going tied hand in hand. So let me know in the comments. If you've got any questions, or let me know. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. Have a fantastic day, team. I'll see you on the next video.